Good about those. Thanks again for tuning into yet another video. Infamous coming at you live from the West Coast yet again, San Jose, California. So let's go ahead and talk about the Dominator, the FXRT. I've had it for a year now. You guys know I've been working on it. I've pretty much learned how to install it and, you know, tweak it and, you know, do all this stuff on it, man, because I've installed it and uninstalled it like 10 to 15 times. So I'm pretty familiar with it now. Like I said, I can pretty much do it with my eyes closed by now, because I've been, you know, tweaking it for some time now, and there's been some issues with it. Okay, it's not perfect. I think I made that pretty much clear in my videos. It's got some issues. It needs a lot of prep. It's not. I just don't think it's worth the $2,000. Considering, you know, some of the minor imperfections, some of the stuff that I had to touch up and fix, then of course the bracket, and then the spacers that I have. If you guys have been seeing the videos, if you guys saw my install videos, you guys know that I have spacers in specific parts in the bracket to make sure the bracket fits, or the fairing fits properly. All right. It's not perfect, and of course you guys saw the Riding Dad video on his carbon fiber build. Of course, he spent I believe he spent about the same amount that I bought for my lowers and my fairing, but keep in mind mine's fiberglass. I was at the dealer event this weekend. I was talking to a fellow that also has a Dominator, and he told me he follows me on Instagram and he follows me on YouTube, and he told me how much of a pain in the butt the Dominator fairing was from his experience, and it was pretty much the same thing. And I shared with them, you know, some of the message you guys have been sharing with me on Instagram. You guys messaged me on Instagram about some of the issues with the Dominator fairing, and, you know, just how I guess the customer service has been pretty lousy. They haven't responded to some of you guys. Some of you guys are missing the drill holes on parts of the fairing, so you guys have to drill your own holes, and that's pretty terrible. I mean, that sucks. But it was just the same issue that we spoke to, or I spoke to this fella. I can't remember his name, but he has, like I said, he has a Dominator carbon fiber, and he has the fairing and the lower, so he's got them both. So he spent about $4,000. He spent about $4,000 for his build, and he waited over a year. He tried canceling his order with Dominator, and they told him no, he can't cancel it. So once you make your order for the carbon fiber, yeah, I mean, you're pretty much in it. They're not going to give you a refund, so you're going to have to wait. And I believe that's what happened with Riding Dad. I think he waited something like 6 to 7 months. But like I said, yeah, this fella, he waited over a year for it, and when he got it, you know, he wasn't happy with the overall product. And I was just mentioning, we had the similar, you know, thought process on getting the carbon fiber. You would think it'd be, you know, a high quality finish, and it was the same thing with Riding Dad's FXRT fairing. The clear coat was just very spotty, inconsistent, and lacking. So he was telling me that he took it, I guess, to his local painter or something like that, and they had quoted him $800 for a clear or $600 for a vinyl wrap. So he went with the vinyl wrap to save the $200, and he's saying the vinyl wrap's already bubbling up. So he just mentioned, you know what, I wish I had gone with the clear coat, just spend the other $200. I wouldn't be having this issue. So now he's gonna have to take it back to the same guy, and I guess have him spray it with clear, maybe about 3 to 4 coats. So now he's gonna have to spend another $800. So not only did he spent $4,000 for the fairing and the lowers, he spent an additional $600 for the vinyl. Now he's going to spend an additional $800 for the clear. So it just sucks. I mean, it is what it is. Like I mentioned earlier, we were talking about how he was expecting the clear to be high quality, and he figured, you know what, I'm gonna kill two birds with one stone. Have the carbon fiber and not worry about paint or clear or anything like that. He thought he was gonna get like a final product. Turns out, nope. He's gotta get that painted. So it sucks. Like I said, as far as you know, my complaints, he's having some fitment issues as well with his forks, because he also has a lowrider S. So he has some fitment issues with his forks rubbing against the fairing. He's got to trim it, and that's pretty much what I had to do myself. I had to modify the bracket and trim it, and you know, get into it and stuff like that. So I had to remove some material off of my forks, my triple trees, because of how it's rubbing up against my brake lines on the inside. Another complaint that I had with fitment, not only of course the lower bracket not fitting properly and stressing the fairing, was my fork lock wasn't wasn't working because of that bottom bracket banging up against my forks. So that was yet another issue that I was having. I wasn't able to lock up my front forks until I went in there and I removed some of the material off of the bracket, and I removed some of the material off of the triple tree, the one on the bottom. You won't be able to see it from here, but you know, it's made out of alloy, so there's no issues with you know, the weather and corrosion and stuff like that. So I figured, you know what, it's at the bottom, you're not going to be able to see it. It's underneath the fork, the triple tree and the neck of the bike. So I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna take the Dremel, and I removed just a little bit, just enough so I could lock my front end. I could lock the forks, and enough so my brake line can stop rubbing up against my the fork on the triple tree on the bottom, because the bracket that holds the fairing is pushing up those lines into that. So it's just wearing into my brake lines, and I was worried I was gonna damage the brake lines and stuff like that. So that's why I went ahead and I removed some additional material. Maybe I should have recorded it. I don't know. I thought I probably recorded it on my phone. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to look at the footage. But you know, there's that. All right. And then of course I also went ahead and I had to fix my S1s, the brackets that hold the S1s. I don't know if you guys can see it in the grill right here. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but those actually broke, and it's all 3D printed. That's another thing that me and this fella were just, you know, mentioning, that a lot of the parts are 3D printed on this kit. So that grill, like I said, it's 3D printed, and it broke. So it broke. I mean, luckily it didn't fall out, but I went ahead and I added some JB weld and repaired them, fixed them. So the JB weld's pretty much holding the 3D print grills together, where it actually mounts to the fairing. So I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't know. I mean, like I said, there's a few benefits as far as, you know, shipping time and how fast I got it, and on top of that, I didn't have to pay taxes. But I mean, TCMT for $1,000, I mean, they're pretty much providing the same, because they also have a warehouse here in California, in what is that city called? Rancho Comanchaga or something like that. Rancho Comancha, something like that. So they're located here in SoCal. So I could have, you know, saved myself $1,000 and just do all the same prep that I was doing on this bike. And I guess one of the benefits was that cutout on the windshield, where you could pretty much keep your turn signals and maybe your handlebars, maybe. But you guys already saw, I already swapped out my my windshield for this flared one. So life's a risk. Thanks for tuning in. I would say, you know what, just, I mean, for 2000 with the lowers, man, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of options out there. I think the TCMT is probably, I mean, yes, this one has carbon fiber. This Fairiing has carbon fiber. It's a little bit of fiberglass and a little bit of carbon fiber, but I mean, the carbon fiber has been holding up fine. All right, the carbon fiber is on the mounting areas of the Fairiing, so I guess that's a plus. But I think if you really wanted to, you could just add a bit of carbon fiber on your TCMT, you know, around the edges and in the mounting area. So I don't know. I mean, life's a risk. What else is there to add? I think that's it. Life's a risk, out there and ride. Later.